Good day to you all. Welcome to today's video where I'll be talking about how I use this Garmin Fenix 5 as an indicator as to whether I have a virus or not. Yep, let's go. Oh yes, my friends, my name is Donato and welcome to today's video where I'll be talking about how I use this smartwatch to help detect whether I have a virus or not. But before I go into those details, and all that shenanigans, is my question of the day to you guys is, because we're going to get through all this. I don't know where you are in the world and what we're all going through, and it is unprecedented times where we're told to stay at home and do what we need to do to help protect the health services, and it's quite understandable. So it's unprecedented times, but we will get through this. And my question is, once we get through all this and we start to resume back to normality, is what one thing you are looking forward to doing the most when this all clears? Yeah? What's that one thing that you have on that list? Or do you have a list of things that you would like to do when we get back to normality? I know for me there's one thing that is at the top of my list. I'm already dressed and ready to go for my one exercise of the day. So today will be a run. Some days I go for a bike ride or I go for a walk. So here in the UK we're allowed one of those, in addition to shopping for essentials, or if we're key workers, going to work. Now, my one thing I'm looking forward to is being able to go for a run or a walk where people don't run for cover when they see me coming by or anyone comes close, because we have to social distance. I am so looking forward to where you can just be up, not up close or whatever, but people don't run away or they go, oh, or cover up with masks. I'm looking forward to seeing people out in public without those masks on and whatever. That's what I'm looking forward to myself. So leave a comment below what you are looking forward to. And also, before I get into the detail of the video, is if you are new, then please do help support me by subscribing. Click on the link below and subscribe if you haven't already done so, because I think there's about 54% of those viewers are not subscribers. I know, maybe if you're a subscriber, get my teeth back in, and maybe it's accidentally unsubscribed, but subscribe, and I look forward to your support. So let's crack on with the video. So yes guys, you're probably thinking, what kind of magic hoodoo woodoo have I got on here that can help indicate whether I have a virus or not? So this is purely based on my experience and what I do, and I need to stress that this is not an exact science. Yeah, it's not an exact science in a similar way, because the only way to have an exact science whether we have a virus, in particular this coronavirus, is we need to be swabbed, you know, a nose swab, mouth swab, have our temperatures taken, blood tests, whatever, all those types of things. Not all of them, but some of those, and the lab results will give us the test results whether we have that particular virus. Very much same with these watches. It has a VO2 indicator. Yeah, it's purely guidance. It's not an exact science. It's based on algorithms. To have a proper VO2 max test, you need to get on that treadmill, blood tests, all that type of stuff, and to maximum threshold, all that kind of lovely good things, which I've done in other videos. And I'll be showing you maybe coming up where I had a VO2 max test on a bike. So I'll be showing that coming up soon. That's in a lab testing. These things is purely indicators. So what I'm going to show you is indicators and algorithms on there that I use that can help me show whether I have a virus or not, based on my previous history. So let's get into that. Right, getting into the details. Now, I mentioned that it's not just available on these Garmins. What this has is a wrist heart rate monitor, and I wear this 24/7. It's on me all the time. The only time it comes off is when I have a shower or a bath. Or even though it's waterproof, I think you can keep it on. That's when I take it off. Or when it needs charging, I take it off then, because the charger is on the back, so I can't keep it on the wrist. I know, logistics. But so this is on 24/7. So what I'll show you is on the Garmin Connect app, and it's an item called Stress. So depending on what device you have, whether it be a Fitbit, or a Sunto or anything like that. If anything that monitors your heart rate and shows an indicator, and they're all different types of words. So on the Garmin Connect on my iPhone, because this connects with that, it's called stress. Yeah. So if you look on your Garmin Connect app, you'll find an item on there that says stress, and then you click on that, and for me, I have a particular baseline where I know everything's cool, everything's hunky-dory and whatever, and the stress levels are what I call normal. Yeah, and everybody's different, so what I show you of my normality, it will be different for your normality, in the same way as we have different rest heart rates based on our fitness. So the heart rate is the indicator, because whilst I may not be a medical doctor, I think we all know that when we have a particular bug or a virus, our body needs to fight it out, clear it out, and our heart rate goes up whilst it's trying to fight that particular virus. Yeah. So, as I got an itch on my nose. So on the Garmin Connect, I'll show you what my normality or baseline that I use. It's around the 15 mark, and sometimes up to the 20s, you know, sometimes high 20s, 27. So I'm going back to a period back in January. If you'd seen my video where I was at the running show, you might notice I was a bit bunged up. I had a bit of a cold and virus or whatever. There was something going on in my body and it needed to fight it out. And for some of us, especially if we are runners or fit athletes, we tend to want to fight through and battle through, when really all we should be doing is actually resting. But I couldn't move that show. I wanted to go there and film it. So against what I would normally do if I didn't have the show, this is what I'd normally do, and it's basically take a paracetamol or a drug that the doctor may have recommended if I've been to see a doctor. But sometimes I'll just go to bed and rest and sleep. Sleep is the best way of recovering from any type of illness, virus, or whatever, because it helps our body recover. And we often say sleep is help with recovery when we're in training. Yeah, so the more sleep we can get, the better we can recover. So I went against that. I went to the show, but I knew I had a particular bug I needed to fight through. So on that day, it was a particular level, and it was getting up to around the 27, high 20s. But then on the 26th of January, it went up, rocketed up to 39. Yeah, 39. Ooh. So as you can see there, the heart rate was extremely high, and despite doing a bit of walking, it was really fighting through the bug. So that is the indicator that I use in terms of stress details on that. And I do recall vividly, yeah, because I often don't get sick. But it was 2 years ago, almost to this month, where I picked up a pretty nasty bug where I was having to sleep through the night and sweating, and yeah, it was fever, pretty bad, and I hadn't fully recovered prior to Boston Marathon, and of 2 years ago. It eventually got through, but I vividly remember, and I haven't scrolled through because it's 2 years ago, and the old scrolling, but it was in the 50s and 60s. Yeah, that's how bad a virus that I had at that time. And the body fought through and recovered. Yeah, so that's how I got through it. And as I see what I did there? Looking at the stress indicator on the Garmin Connect, I need to emphasize, yeah, as well as stress, that it's purely an indicator, and please do follow the advice that is being given regarding this coronavirus at the time. Is that if you're showing symptoms, to self-isolate, and if you're feeling pretty ill, I think that's the time to call in medical number and explain the symptoms you have, and they'll make the decision as to what needs to be done based on your background. So that is really it. Hopefully you found it useful, and you want to share this video with other people that you know that find it useful as well. And as I say, it's to do with the heart rate monitoring on your smartwatches. So whilst I've gone through what works on the Garmin Fenix 5, it can apply to other devices that have heart rate. But in close, as I said, we are in unprecedented times. We're doing things, for a lot of us, we're doing things that we've not done before. For some people, you know, working from home, they're used to it and it's pretty straightforward and simple. But for a lot of people who've never worked from home, it can be a bit of a stressful time and a bit of a shaker. And sometimes we need to interact with people. But for me, it's keep calm and carry on. That's all we can do, and help support each other in whatever way we can. And but I'd like to close with, what's your guilty pleasure? Now, a lot of people have been watching, watch the old TV box there, and are doing catch-up binge watching. I know some of you are binge watching on my channel here, which is great. You know, great to see. You know, if you feel like you wanted to go for a run, watch my race videos, and you're there running sort of simulations. It's great. I love it. Leave comments on there as well. But what's your guilty pleasure? You know, so now we have lots of time in our hands. What do we do when we're indoors? I have a guilty pleasure of watching a particular show. There's one particular TV program that I caught a few years ago, but now, because I quite like it, and I like my crime mystery type shows. Yeah, have you guessed what it is? Yeah, I bet you haven't guessed what it is. Yeah, the crime mystery show that I like watching is Inspector Montalbano. Yes, the Sicilian police detective, and Inspector Montalbano. Yeah, it's brilliant. That's my guilty pleasure, and I might watch him a couple of times a week and do some catch up. Some days I might have watched it consecutively, so you know, in consecutive days, woof. But it's really good. It's in Italian. It has subtitles, but I've got it on the BBC iPlayer. And I can watch to my heart's delight and try and solve the crimes before they actually explain what's happened. But I know some of you back in the past used to watch Midsummer Murders or Spooks and all that type of stuff. So what's your guilty pleasure? Maybe leave that in the comments below. And maybe as I said, maybe I am your guilty pleasure. I don't know, but leave it in the comments below. But all remains for me to say is just we just need to keep calm, carry on. We will get through this. I don't know how long it's going to go on for. Nobody knows. Yeah, nobody knows. But we can just take each day as it comes, and maybe just focus on one thing and get one thing done each day. Yeah. Speaking of that one thing I'm going to do each day, I'm off for my run. Yes, and it's my Leamington Spa half marathon t-shirt, which hopefully, fingers crossed, July, hopefully things would have cleared by then and we can do this. This might be my first half marathon this year. But anyway, gotta go and do my little run. It's Saturday morning. Catch you later, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate the time that you take watching this each and every time I publish. Bye bye bye. Love you all. Take care and be safe.